Good morning. How blessed we are to be here. You know, there's really a lot that goes on during the week in order to make this happen. And I just have a lot of appreciation for each of you, all of those who contribute during the week. And whether it's with your hearts, your hands, your monetary gifts, really. I mean, our mission is to create spaces for this teaching, and we're doing it. So thank you. All right, our book this month, Infinite Possibilities, The Art of Living Your Dreams by Mike Dooley. Now in this 10th anniversary edition, it came out in 2019. And in the introduction, he references what he had written in the introduction in 2009. And back in 2009, he said, this is a time of change and upheaval. If we learn of our greatness, honor our passions, accept our responsibility, we will usher in a golden age greater than any experienced in history. And in the 2019 edition, he speaks to the elephant in the room. He acknowledges the changes between 2009 and 2019, and we don't appear to have come any closer to that golden age. He acknowledges that even though we appear to be a nation and a world, in his words, slowly losing our grip, he assures that we actually are evolving, individually and collectively. And he says that sometimes with great changes, we have to fall backwards for a while before we can take a greater leap forward. And he acknowledges that if he didn't mention this, it could appear to suggest that this worldview that he writes about is Pollyanna. I've been called Pollyanna before. But I appreciate that he mentions this. You know, sometimes manifesting books and our teaching in general can be made out to be a sort of how can I get mine philosophy. But it's more than that. And it is that. And it's okay for us to manifest. Manifesting is a good thing. I don't want to make that wrong. But there's more than that. And when the world looks the way it does today, it makes manifesting my dreams feel a little superficial, if not unrealistic. So again, I'm not making it wrong, and I think there's a lot of really great information in this book and some really practical tips for how to change patterns and do more inquiry around our beliefs and the things that are driving our behaviors. But I want to dive in a little bit to what's in back of this manifesting technology. And I think I mentioned in my last talk that I had the pleasure, really the blessing of taking a class recently with a man named Dr. Tom Sanner. That reading that Connie read was him. And he said, you know, we talk about this teaching as change your thinking, change your life. But it should really be about transforming the thinker. That's the idea he wants us to call attention to. Transformation of the thinker. Teaching of science of mind is about transformation. It's about transcending the world of form, rising above the conditions. We are one with this all-encompassing power and presence. We live, move, and have our being in it. We are individualized expressions of it. But it is also greater than we are. It is beyond us. It includes all of those infinite possibilities. And when I commune with this presence, I transcend my human experience, and I tap into those infinite possibilities. I access higher consciousness, and it is that consciousness, from that consciousness, that transformation occurs. I told you I was going a little science of mind this morning, Amy. So God is love, and God is law. These are some of our core principles. And it's not dualistic. It's two aspects of the one. God is love, or you could say spirit is love. Use your words. God is love. God is law. Spirit is love. Spirit is law. And there's actually a third aspect. In my foundations class, it was triune nature. They've updated principles and core concepts, so they use slightly different language, but it's the same idea. There's a third aspect of the one, and that is us. That is the world of form. So there's love, there's law, and there's form. Spirit is love. Love is the self-givingness of spirit, and it is always desiring to express itself in and through its creation, in and through us. And law, spirit as law, it operates through universal law as creative process. And this is how things come into form. And law is impersonal and absolute. It just says yes. So spirit as law receives the impress of our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs, and it brings it into form. The science of mind concepts of love and law explain Mike Dooley's famous quote, "Thoughts become things." That's how it works. And it also explains why our contradicting thoughts give us a contradicting experience. The law is impersonal. It just says yes. So if we put in a muddled request, we get out a muddled response, a muddled outcome. And that same teacher, Dr. Sanner, gave me the phrase, commune, command, allow. I'm so inspired by this. I'm so excited I get to teach the Essential Earners Homes class coming up at the end of this month, because I got a new jolt of inspiration taking this class. So we commune, command, and allow. We commune with spirit. We experience spirit as love. And there's this polarity, and in this case, we are the receiver. Spirit is the giver. We receive insight and inspiration. We receive guidance, direction. We receive that loving nature. And when we speak our word or command, we are the giver, and spirit, as law, is the receiver. And the result is our experience. The world of form is the outcome of spirit becoming more of itself in, as, and through us. We don't make it happen. We allow it to happen. Essentially, I just was describing spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And as Mike Dooley says, thoughts become things. And the great news, we get to choose our thoughts. This is how we begin to take responsibility. And how do our actions factor in? Are we allowing? I like to remind myself that I don't need to make anything happen. I can commune, command from that inspirational place, and then allow. I can get caught in the human doing. I had this recollection. There was a television show when my kids were little, that Jim Henson, one of those Muppet kind of shows called Fraggle Rock. And there were these little guys. They were like construction workers, and they were always building something. They were just go, 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 constantly in the background. And they were called doozers. So I picture myself as a doozer, that little go, go, go. My work is to allow. It doesn't mean I don't take action. It means I take action that is based on the inspiration that I receive in the communion. So Dooley says our words and our actions give form to our thoughts. We give life to our thoughts through our words and our actions. In other words, it's a continuation of the prayer. Our words and our actions are just us continuing to pray, constantly praying everywhere we go, everything we're doing. Is it in alignment with what we said we wanted? Are we in allowing, or are we in contradiction? And most of us were taught that the stuff out here, the world out here, is real, and what goes on in our minds is just our imagination. But it turns out the thoughts in our imagination are the starting point for what we get out here. Everything you see around you, everything you see is the result of something that was thought before. We talk about it all the time. But stop and think about the magnificence of the world around you. Really, just invite you to take a moment and look around. There's art. I mean, look at people's clothing, these instruments. We can extend that out to the building, the furniture, to the cars, planes, all of it. Who thinks of this stuff? Someone first thought of every one of those things. So in my talk title, what are you thinking? In the context of what I'm saying here, whatever you are thinking today is the stuff you'll be experiencing tomorrow or next week or next year. We have to choose wisely. So thoughts become things, and we have the power to create our experience through choice. And we need to understand that emotion makes this happen faster. Those thoughts, feelings that we hold with the most intensity are the ones that manifest the most powerfully. So to take responsibility for our thoughts, actions, and our emotions, Dooley says the captain of these is our beliefs. Beliefs drive our thoughts and behaviors. Beliefs drive our thoughts and feelings, which drive our behaviors. The thoughts that we think over and over again become our belief. So there's this loop, right? We create more of the same thoughts, and our actions reinforce our beliefs, and this becomes our repeating cycle. This is why things often stay the same. We have to interrupt the pattern. And he gives some great examples for how he interrupts the pattern. And the beautiful thing about using this thoughts become things technology is that we don't have to learn anything new. We're doing it all the time. We just have to harness it and become more conscious of how we're using it. So what about the dreams that don't come true? Why haven't I won the lottery? Because I'm having opposing thoughts. They say we have something like 60,000 thoughts a day. Thank goodness they don't all manifest. And the hitch is we never want just one thing. We never think just one thought. Contradicting thoughts create a contradicting experience. So what have you been thinking about? How do you contradict it? I'm going to invite you to explore that just a little bit, if you will, just for a moment. If you're willing, close your eyes, take a breath, relax, and we don't have to overthink it. And yes, pun was intended. So take a breath. Bring to mind something that you want. Take a moment and get related to the desire. Something you want. Notice what was the next thought or the next feeling that came up. You can open your eyes and just get related to that. Did you notice contradicting thoughts and feelings? If you stayed in the mindset of the thing you want, that's great, amazing, good work. I know my thoughts are often contradicting what I say I want. In fact, in the Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life class that we just finished, there was an exercise where you work with an affirmation for a week and you chart it. And every time you write down the affirmation, you write down your next thought. And you continue doing this until you bring your next thought into alignment with the affirmation. It's a great practice. So when you ask, why haven't my thoughts created what I want? The simple answer is your other thoughts. If you say you want abundance, but deep down inside, you're thinking it creates too many problems to have money, or you're thinking that the people in the world who are responsible for all the problems in the world have money, we have a conflict. And Dooley says that just because you do not get what you want does not mean you didn't get what you were thinking about. So this is not about shaming, just creating awareness. And the good news is, when we become conscious, when we become aware, we can always create something else. With awareness, we have choice. With choice, we take responsibility. And with responsibility, we take back our power. And Dooley speaks a lot about responsibility and power and needing both in order to manifest the life of your dreams. Last week, when Daryl was speaking, I took away, one of the things I took away was the idea that in order to fully embrace infinite possibilities, you have to be willing to embrace the idea that you don't know everything. When you think you already know something, nothing new is possible. We have to be open to new possibilities. It's this limited thinking that creates the divisiveness that we see in the world, in our own relationships, but in the bigger picture. It causes us to be against one another. I'm right, you're wrong. And there's the power struggle. Map that onto our global condition. Life is not binary. And we can see that more than one thing can be true at the same time. And last week, Daryl mentioned a reframe, which is part of what Dooley talks about. I like using the question, how might the opposite of my story be true or truer? It just causes me to see that more than one thing can be true at the same time. The universe is infinite. We can all have our dreams fulfilled at the same time, and we don't need to know how. We can just allow. We can drop the power struggle, take responsibility. So our beliefs influence our thoughts bring up our emotions and emotions drive our behaviors, and it works in reverse. The emotion fuels our beliefs, it's how we perpetuate the pattern. So we can use our emotion to be a sort of Geiger counter for what is happening in our life. And we can choose actions, that sort of fake it till you make it idea, that help us move into alignment with what it is we are desiring. So we have to pay attention, be aware of the emotions, do the inquiry on the beliefs, get clear about what we're putting into the creative field, and know we are not stuck in the circumstances. We're simply experiencing it because a part of us came to believe it was true. I had 5 things hit me in like a 24, it might have been a 48-hour period, but it felt like a 24-hour period. It felt like a 2-hour period where I just suddenly had all these things. That doesn't happen to me that often anymore, where I feel like I really get taken out. I had to deal with some legal stuff for my aging mother. I hurt my back a little moving a box. I had a big expense on a car repair. I had some work drama, and I had someone that I love tell me that they're depressed. And all within a short time, and my energy just went whoof. And it sort of took me out. And for me, the choice was obvious. I called one of my prayer partners. I'm like, yes, I know we just prayed yesterday, but I need prayer. And then I had to carve some time. I had to postpone a meeting so I could just go sit and be in communion, that I could practice lifting myself up out of the circumstances, to remember that more is possible than what I am experiencing right here. When I commune with the divine, when I commune with love or spirit, plug in your word, I remember that I am one with the allness of life. I remember that everything is possible. What I am experiencing in this moment is temporary. It is not stuck or stayed. When I tap into infinite possibilities, I am uplifted, I'm inspired, and I receive from God as love. But we must be willing to be transformed. We must open ourselves to it. I mean, some days I'm just like, nope, I'm just going to stay like this. But when we're willing, transformation occurs. So we have commune, love giving itself to us. We have command, law, receiving our thoughts, words, and actions. And we have allow. We are transformed as we open to this process. And I'm going to repeat part of the reading that that Connie shared. Transformation is our goal. We are here to help emancipate all people from disease, lack, limitation, and all forms of suffering. We are here to end all war, all fighting, and to bring forth peace and prosperity to our planet. As we harmonize our awareness at the individual level, we begin to harmonize the awareness of all people at the planetary level. We are here to bring heaven to earth. This is the real gift of the power of this teaching, the power to change our thinking and change our life. The power of knowing that our thoughts become things and that we can choose and be responsible and take power in what we're creating. Transformation is the goal. It is our responsibility to harmonize ourselves individually and extend that out collectively, harmonizing the planet. Transformation is possible. Let's go into prayer. So right here, right now, I align myself with the knowing of that infinite power and presence that is everywhere present. I am in it and of it. We are each individualized expressions of it. And it transcends us. It is more than us. It is greater than us. It is infinite possibility. And in this place, I invite us to lift our attention, lift our awareness into that high idea, the high idea of spirit as love, as infinite, as pure potential, as generative creativity. And to know that this is desiring to operate in, as, and through us and bring its highest expression into the world through us as only each of us can express it. So I know that we are each expanding in our awareness of this truth. We are each deepening in our knowing of spirit as love and law, of knowing this truth that we choose our thoughts, change our experience. And when we vibrate in alignment with love, we harmonize with others. And as we harmonize as love together on this planet, the planet is transformed. I am grateful, so grateful for this teaching, so grateful for this good, so grateful for this truth, so grateful for this knowing. I know it is done. I release it into the law and I call it good. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Well, 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 that was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Linda. Oh my goodness gracious, I gotta get myself together here. I was just so focused on the talk. So here at Cityside, we are a community support